Hello mate, it is the 6th of April and thank you very much for not punishing me. Right, so in answer to your question, I have actually read all 7 Harry Potter books. I read all of them in a row. I obviously watched the movies like a lot, but the books I only ever read once, the entire series all the way through, and I still have them to this day. It won't take that much effort to right this camera, so wait a second. They are up. It doesn't go that high. Brilliant. Up somewhere along there. Actually, you know what? You can probably go back to a previous vlog that I did, and you can probably see them in the background because I remember I made sure to keep them in the background in the vlogs. But yeah, I read all of them in 2010, the year that Deathly Hallows Part 1 came out, over the course of about 3 months, I think it was, 3 or 4 months. That's how long it took me to read them. So yeah, I mean, yeah, they're kind of necessary reads, but the movies, in my opinion, are superior because, I mean, yeah, I'm not really much of a book supporter. I'm much more of a movie supporter. But yeah, I do remember that the later ones took me much longer to read than the earlier ones because the Deathly Hallows Part 2, well, Order of the Phoenix is 500 pages. Philosopher's Stone is actually very short. You may think, you said yesterday that your Frank's, whoever was, I don't remember his name, for some reason, no, it's not really. The autobiography you're reading, it's about that thick. Philosopher's Stone is about that thick. Paperback, but yeah, it's not that thick, so yeah. I have read all the books, and they're alright. Movies are better still. Right, so next week is going to be a really hyped up week because it is Star Wars Celebration. And there are going to be 3 trailers for stuff that I am quite curious about. We're getting the trailer for Star Wars Rebels Series 4, which I wasn't really into Rebels before the episode with Darth Maul, but since then I've sort of been on a bit of a catch up. I've watched every single highlight video on YouTube and I pretty much know everything about it. If I can be asked, I may watch Series 4, so I'm interested in the trailer for that. Star Wars Battlefront 2, which they're keeping so tight-lipped on. It's coming out later on this year, but none of us know anything about it. Like, it's going to be so hyped. And then, The Last Jedi. The trailer for The Last Jedi coming out. Yeah, Star Wars Celebration next week. Oh my god, I don't think I've been this hyped up about something ever. I mean, there was Force Awakens, but that was only 1. This is 3 trailers. Not the whole thing, 3 trailers. But yeah, I've not been this excited very much in my life. So my question to you, Matt, is has there ever been anything like this, a reveal or something, that you have just been so excited for? And if it's already come out, can you say if it did live up to that hype? So yeah, it could be anything like a, I don't know, YouTube video that's announced and then it lived up to the hype, or a trailer that was announced, or yeah, anything. Have you been this as hyped as I am? Alright, so today's review, as I said last week, is going to be of Galaxy Quest. So let's go. Right, so I'm not, I've always said I'm a Star Wars fan, not so much Star Trek. I mean, I know the basics of Star Trek, that's all I know. So yeah, I was going into Galaxy Quest sort of blind, but yeah, it's not related. It's a spoof of the whole series, and arguably a spoof of science fiction movies in genre, and a spoof of basically every single television show and how aliens sort of view that. Basically, the story is a Star Trek-like show aired a few decades ago, or a couple of decades ago, or a decade ago, and the stars of the show have had no work in ages, but their show was actually picked up by an alien audience who believe they are the keys. The cast of the show are the keys to breaking them free from the tyranny of alien masters. Now, I'll be honest here, that setup is one of the greatest comedic setups for any movie ever. Like, there has not been, I think there is no finer element of comedic storytelling than that. Just the amount of over-the-top jokes they get in the fact that they're from a television show, and how much the aliens are so naive about the fact that it's a television show, and how much the aliens went into creating all their technology to be like the show. It's just, they have so much fun with that in the movie. It is really good setup, really great story for it all. So I suppose the characters from the television show all have their similarities to the actual cast of Star Trek, which I know enough about. You have Tim Allen playing the obvious William Shatner character, who is just in love with himself, in love with his performance, but doesn't really give two craps about work. Then you have Alan Rickman playing this movie's versions of Spock, who is really regretful that his career has gone down to this, and he doesn't like the series at all, but he's just brought onto the journey because he has to. And Alan Rickman, oh my god, he plays the same sort of character in everything, but whether it be a really serious character like Hans Gruber or Snape, or a really comedic character like Lazarus, it just works so well. Everything he does just seems to work, and this movie's no exception. And then Sigourney Weaver playing the sort of blonde, sort of stereotypical blonde in the show, but in the actual movie she's really competent. It's a good flip around. Maybe not the most interesting character, but yeah, I mean, probably the weakest link out of the cast. You have the aliens from the Klaatu Nebula, who are so adorable. They are really, I don't know the actors they got to play them were, but oh my god, they brought along so much naivety and cutesy. You just want to hug them and say, just bring them to us, show them all our television shows. You just want them to do so much. They're so naive, so brilliant. And even the villains in these kind of movies, the villains are usually very forgettable, but they take the villains. They don't just make them like sticks in the mud. They have fun with them. They have fun with everything in the movie. Like, it's so fun, well written, and it's a must see. It's got comedic elements, spoof elements, and then it's got science fiction elements, which are also brilliant. A lot of amount of Star Trek, but you can watch it on its own. It's just the definition of a great spoof movie. I mean, I'd sort of maybe even put it on a level with Spaceballs, because I mean, if Star Wars has Spaceballs as its definitive spoof, then Star Trek is certainly Galaxy Quest. There have been attempts at spoofs of both of their series other than those two. Neither of them have worked, and none of them have worked. These two are the only two ones that worked, because they took everything that was great about their source material and sort of transformed it in a way that was really funny, really thoughtful, and seems almost realistic in a way. I mean, it is kind of weird how the aliens got their television show, but it is great writing like that that just makes a really enjoyable movie. Honestly, I think Galaxy Quest is one of those movies that if you do not like it, you have got no soul. Like, it is so likeable. It's just got such a good tone about it. It makes you feel a different way about your favourite television shows. It makes you realise what the characters are going through at the time. It's just, it's brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. I mean, I'd say maybe the only tiny, weeny, teeniest little complaint I have about it was only 1 hour 34 minutes. That's my biggest complaint about it. I could have easily sat through 2 hours of just more jokes involving the characters and their television surroundings. I could have easily coped with that much. It was just, it's so good. It's so good. You don't see Galaxy Quest a lot in CEX. I wanted to get for ages. Luckily I saw it on Sky. But yeah, if you ever get the chance to see it and you're into comedy, you don't even need to be into Star Trek. Like, I've proved that. You don't even need to be into Star Trek to like it. But I'm sure if I was, I'd like it even more. But yeah, definitely very, very, very good movie. And I also realise this vlog has come full circle because Alan Rickman was in Harry Potter and he was in Galaxy Quest. Should I reference Die Hard? Nah, I don't feel like it. Don't even know where that joke was going, to be honest. Right, Matt, thanks again for not punishing me. I'm eternally grateful, like the aliens in Galaxy Quest. And yeah, thanks for watching the vlog, and I'll see you on Saturday. Wait, yeah, I've asked you a question. Yeah, see you on Saturday.